New year means new books, but not before we talk about the very last book that I read in 2024. Yay, you made it! I've been waiting for you. Hi, my name is Floss. This is the Grape Jelly Library where we love to talk about books. I am so glad you could join me. I always look forward to your visit. Today we are going to do something that I don't usually do on my channel. We are going to talk about a book that didn't float my boat. It didn't. I was not impressed, and I don't usually like to say bad things about books because I never want to, hurt that author's, feelings, even though we all have differences and we all have our opinions, and opinions don't matter, right? So I try not to give mine in a negative way, but I'm going to embrace that sort of lifestyle mildly a little bit more on my channel, because let's just face it, I am human and there are books that I just don't like. Now, you do not have to, agree with me. We all need to, make our own decisions and do what's best for us. I'm just putting this video out there, not even for my own self-satisfaction, because I get no satisfaction out of that at all. I am putting this video out there for those of you who are wondering what this book might be like, and should you invest time in it. That is the sole reason for putting this book out there. Now, I have put a book down here and there, such as 1984, but that one I'm not afraid to, say I don't like that book because the author is no longer with us. So, I don't think I'm hurting too many feelings when I say I don't like that book. But anyways, the book that we're going to talk about today is The Most by Jessica Anthony. Now, the premise of this book is it's about a woman who won't come out of the swimming pool. So without trying to give the jig up, I'm going to tell you, what's pretty mainstream out there, but, I'll add a little bit of more fluff or my way of thinking to it. So the story is definitely a novella. Okay, so we have that. You can sit down on a good day and knock this out of the park rather quickly. All right, the characters. We have Victor and we have Kathleen, and they are husband and wife, and they met in college. And the good thing about this relationship is that they are intellectually equal. Okay, so there, we're off on the right foot. Where they vary, their differences, Kathleen is, I'm going to say, modest looking, whereas Victor is extremely handsome. And those women are not afraid to let him know what he kind of already knows. All right, so they met at college. Kathleen is aware of his good looks, but she decides she's going to date him and then eventually marry him and create a life with him. So we're 9 years into this marriage, and guess what? It's not what it's cracked up to be. We're at the ho-hum doldrum stage of the marriage. They still love each other, but it's not a very exciting marriage. The marriage did produce 2 children. They are 2 young boys, rather close in age. Victor and Kathleen live in an apartment complex where there is a pool, but the pool is closed. Kathleen is introduced to the apartment complex manager and inquires about this pool. He proceeds to inform her that there was a drowning, and so the pool was thus closed. Kathleen gives her condolences, and then expresses her desire to maybe have the pool reopened. It didn't take much convincing to have this apartment complex manager reopen the pool. I think he's the owner of it too. So he reopens the pool with a lot of work, and I can't even see what the benefit of opening that pool up again, because he had to do a tremendous amount of work to get it running again. But here we are. The pool is up and running, and it's a very, very warm November day in the late 50s when Kathleen tells the boys, go on to church without me. I'm not feeling well. I'm just going to stay behind. Kathleen puts on her threadbare red one-piece bathing suit that she's had for all eternity and decides that she's going to give the pool a try. She's going to test it out. So she gets in. Okay, so now this is the part that has me wondering. What on earth is it that has Kathleen wanting to stay in this pool for 8 hours? 8 hours straight. Think about it. That's a long time to be in water. Things start shriveling up, looking like prunes. I know, like our hands and stuff like that. Get your mind out of the gutter. Anyways, she's not coming out, and nobody can get her out. Not the apartment complex. I'm going to call him owner, not her husband, not her children, and not even the beck and call of lunch or dinner that needs to be prepared to feed her family. She's not coming out. Now, why is she not coming out? Okay. So that's why I wanted to read this book. I'm a little bit nosy. I'm not so much nosy, but I'm a little bit nosy. So I wanted to read the book. All right. Now, the story, here's why I don't like this son of a gun of a story. To me, it wasn't fun. I didn't laugh. I didn't have a good time in this book. I felt like it was too serious, too wound tight. Not something like when we read books, we generally like to escape our world or learn something, gather some sort of experience that we can ponder and reflect on and grow from. Maybe the self-realization that our life isn't so bad compared to the book that we just read. So there are deep, dark books that we want to read as individuals, but I don't think that I necessarily want to read about somebody's relationship troubles, financial trouble. It's too true to life. That's what I'm trying to say. The story is just too true to the life of someone who lives like a mundane life. There's not a lot of excitement going on in these lives. Well, there's a little excitement because I'm just going to say that this husband and wife dynamic duo is not exactly faithful to one another. Kathleen is aware of what her husband is up to when these ladies basically blatantly tell him how good looking he is. She's aware of what goes on. And I have to say, she's not quite an angel herself. All right, so I don't know. That's just not an appealing story to me. Also, we have this little part in the book that I'm not on the same page with. Jessica, the author, felt the need for whatever reason to drag my man Elvis into this book. Like, okay, there are a lot of books that mention him, and say what you will, but I don't have to like it. And she made her little snide remark about him, and it rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm an intelligent adult, and I can handle a little bit of criticism. But a little ways down yonder, she did it again. And I feel like she was just really trying to bring home a point, a strong negative opinion of what she thought of Elvis. And you know what? I can't hear you. And furthermore, you have just lost me. I could have hung on, and I could have made something of it, but for that reason alone, even with that reference or those references, I could have gotten past it and found a way to like the book. But because, for me, like I said, there was no bells and whistles. There was no excitement in it for me. For those of you who would like just a little glimpse into why Kathleen won't come out of the pool, I can do that for you without, I think, giving the jig up. The secret lies in who she was and who she has become, and ditto with her husband. So I don't think I've said too much, but I hope I've said enough to maybe make you want to read this book. And if you do, comment below. So there you have it. That is just my little opinion, but you don't have to take my word for it. You can pick this book up at your library, your bookstore, borrow it from a friend, download it, whatever you got to do, and find out for yourself. Maybe it'll be a winner for you, but not so much for me. Until we meet again, know that I love you. Don't let those bad days win. And when you dream, make sure you are dreaming big.